Welcome to Unscripted Gaming. My name is Josh. As you may have heard on the last podcast, unfortunately, Stan is not going to be joining us on the podcast for a while. He has some things at work that he needs to focus on. So in the meantime, you're going to listen to me badger on for 20. No, I'm just kidding. We brought on a special guest. We have Mike now joining us.
Special guest? When's he going to get here? I'm so excited.
I know. Mike, say hello to the boys.
Hey, everyone. My name is Mike. My friend Josh, and I like to talk about video games, too.
What a crazy
coincidence.
Did you know we like to talk about video games?
Look at that. That's why we're here. That's what we're here to do. Give the people what they want.
Yeah, so Mike's going to be the new co-host on the podcast here for the foreseeable future, joining us, talking about games and whatever the hell else really comes to mind. And we can ramble on for a while. But Mike, why don't you tell the boys and girls what consoles you have currently that you are active on?
Currently, my big ones are probably I spend most of my time playing my computer, my PC game, the PC Vidya, and the PlayStation 4 Vidya. Those are the two big ones I have right now. But I have been playing games in general for quite a long time. My first console was a PlayStation 1. And well, it was actually probably a Game Boy, but the first real home console was a PlayStation 1. And I've had pretty much most or all of them since, because, you know, that's kind of how it works. Oh, gosh. What were some of the other big things I should mention? Oh, probably, like, favorite games. This is a really tough list because I could be like, oh yeah, that one Ocarina of Time game was pretty good, but I feel like that doesn't say a lot about, like, the kinds of games I like. I don't know.
Mike, everybody.
See, exactly.
If they don't, they're...
you know, they'll probably learn how awful of a person I am when I say that my favorite game, and I think the greatest game of all time, is actually Super Mario Sunshine. There's literally no video game greater than Super Mario. I'm just kidding.
Mike, I don't know if you've heard of a game that I've been a fan of called Super Metroid. That is by far better than
almost half as good as Super Mario Sunshine. Exactly. I love. We're getting off to such a great start here.
Anyway.
But actually, you know, there really isn't something I honestly won't try. I mean, I play a lot of first-person shooters. Love Halo, Counter-Strike, Half-Life, Portal, Team Fortress. Call of Duty, Battlefront, platformers I love, you know, gosh, like all the Mario games, Nintendo games, all those are really good. I guess the couple of genres that I think I don't have a ton of experience in are, you know, are like kind of more sim types, so like your Forza or kind of other things like that. I don't know, they don't really appeal to me that much, but if you give me a good kart racer, I'm there.
Just so everybody knows, Mike is garbage at Mario.
Well, that's words. Them is fighting words. Them is fighting words,
Shots
Josh.
fired, I know, but
man, let's see. I'm really bad at fighting games. I like to try them. I'm very interested by them. I'm good at Smash Bros, so you can start a whole argument about whether or not oh god, let's not go there.
For those of you watching the video feed, I am doing very big air quotes right now.
Whoa, they're huge. Good lord, look at those things.
Massive.
Let's see, what else? Yeah, I play them. I pretty much play them all here. You'll probably get to know a little bit more about what I like and what I kind of feel about things. I'm a big...
Yeah. Mike, what game, let's say specifically on the PC, has your highest amount of playtime right now?
It is probably Team Fortress. It's Team Fortress 2 right now. It is.
Really?
Yep.
Still? Dang. I figured it might have been another game.
No, it is actually not Payday 2. That awful son of a bitch of a game. Oh, good lord. It's so...
Mike and I have spent many hours playing Payday 2 together, and it is probably by far our favorite game in the history of ever. I feel pretty confident.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You might need to find another special guest, Josh. I don't know if I can do this.
So next week we're going to
Introduce
have
a new special guest
the third
because
co-host
the
deck.
2-minute mic disaster, as it shall be known from now on, just did not go well. Didn't go great.
Irreconcilable differences was cited on the affidavit.
You know,
for,
it's
leaving. Affidavit, no.
you didn't. We thought this would be great. Sat down. Terrible. Horrible. Yeah. You know.
We gave it the old college try, and then just boom.
A for effort. F
Yeah,
for being
so,
bad.
I figured, in our introduction podcast, you kind of talked about. Do you have a Wii U, Mike?
Oh, I do actually. Yes, I do.
He has a Wii U. So of the 4 main platforms right now, you have 3 of them. You have PC, Wii U, and PS4.
Correct.
You do not have an Xbox.
I do not have an X-Bone. Though all these, I'm like, I've been pretty happy. I'm like, I don't. I feel like I'm pretty covered. And then I see all these Halo 5 trailers, and I'm just like, oh man. Oh, I should probably get on that someday. But then.
And so I've mentioned this before too. It's like there's so many games that I want to play on the consoles right now. It's like I cannot tell you how badly I've been looking at the secondhand market of Wii U's for Mario Maker. It's the itch is bad. The itch is real. But I can't bring myself to buy any of the 3 consoles right now, and I don't know. There are games I want to play, but nothing that's just like you need to go and spend 400. Well, actually, speaking of, Sony just cut the price of the PS4 here in the U.S. by $50, included with either Star Wars Battlefront or Uncharted. So I mean, the price is getting there, and it's becoming less of a
and certainly I mean, compared to like launch day, obviously things have gotten a lot stronger for any platform that you see right now. Particularly the Wii U itself. I mean, there is a lack of titles for that system, but I mean now you have so much between Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, Mario Maker. I've just barely scratched the surface of it, and I think it's great. I mean, there are a couple other great games for it. Super Mario World is, or Super Mario 3D World is, I think, one of the best Mario games I've ever played. It's just like it's great to see them. It's just been great to see what they can do, what Nintendo can do with. It just feels like they can get so much out of it, because especially, I mean, it's an underpowered system, but it's they just have so many like tricks and like actual art design that just really knocks it home. And now I think now if you're nervous about a Wii U, about I would never play it, I think now is probably a better time than ever to really get in on it, just because now there's actually more than like 2 games. There's like 7.
The nice thing too, as I'm thinking about it, is I would keep it in the bedroom more than likely, and when I'm in the evening watching reruns of crappy television while my wife relaxes, I could play some
make
Mario
some
Maker,
make some
Mario Kart on
Marios
the gamepad while she's doing that. So Mike, why don't you talk a little bit while even
I do love making a good Mario. It's
a good
Mario.
So why don't you tell us what have you been playing actively recently? What are your top few games that you've been playing the past few weeks that you've been sinking your teeth into? And it's not that there haven't been a plethora of games recently.
The two actually there's one big one and then the other one. It's pretty much just been Metal Gear Solid 5, and there's been some sprinkling of more Rocket League, because I still like that. It's a great game and really fun. There's been some Mario Maker, like I said, also really fun. But man, Metal Gear Solid 5 is a really good video game. It's really good.
And it demands time in a very special way.
I think that's a very fair thing to say. And I've and they just, for consoles, they just actually put out the Metal Gear Online update, and I haven't really had a lot of experience with the previous Metal Gear Onlines, but from reports, at least just a couple of things I've heard, it's been, at least for me, I think how it's a great translation of the of the single of what I really liked about the single player and into like a multiplayer environment that I think it's. I mean, for me as a kind of a newcomer to Metal Gear Online, I don't have experience with some of the other ones. I think it's been really. I've really enjoyed my time with it. I mean, it's. Yeah, I don't know what the kind of what kind of legs it has long term. That kind of depends on if they add any other modes or what kind of maps, if they kind of additions they would make there. But
yeah.
But so far it's like the. I mean, there's so many different like loadouts you can utilize, and I've had a couple of really intense moments that I've resolved in ways that you don't really kind of see happening, and it's just really different. Like for example, I was earlier I was playing and I saw someone getting Fultoned out of the map, which basically means someone knocks another player out and then attaches a balloon to them, and in a couple seconds they get lifted out, and it was it usually gets you more points in some of the modes. Some it actually either adds it can add tickets to your own teams, like spawn accounting, which
I think is a very, very, very neat and
it's really cool because of
bounty system.
Because of what
basically somebody who is on another team has been getting a lot of kills. They start to gain a bounty on their head. So if you Fulton them, that bounty gets translated into your ticket count. So it could really change the course of a battle. Let's say you have only a few tickets left and the other team is dominating, and you Fulton their bounty player. You're back.
Yeah, and that feels really cool, especially when you do it at the end of the match, and it's like, oh, by the way, you beat the buzzer and you win.
We're still in it, motherfuckers.
And that's it. Like, it's game over. Your team just won. But there, I've had times where I've seen someone just about to get lifted out. You shoot down their balloon, then you take down the person who took the other player down. You Fulton them out. It's really cool because most of the time in other games I played a little bit of the Battlefront beta, and I had a lot of I'm going to run for 30 seconds and then die, and it was just like, okay, cool, because that happens to me a lot in video games because I'm bad.
Can't confirm.
But it was really cool because it's run for 30 seconds. Oh, I got CQC'd. Oh, I'm knocked out. Oh, I'm getting Fultoned. Someone shot my balloon. We turned it around. It's like parts where in other games where you'd put down your controller and be like, yeah, what? Oh, man. Okay, well, that's kind of annoying. There's still a chance for you to there's a small chance, but there's still a chance for you to turn it around, and that always kind of added a little bit of excitement, and it felt really good when I could shoot one of my teammates and rescue them and turn around especially if it was like a big capture point or stuff like that. I've had a lot of fun with it. Again,
it sounds like you have a lot more agency and influence over the swing of the game depending on your skill. It's not just like we're getting ran train on because these dudes are killing us a lot. If you can be sneaky and do a few key things, you can really you still have a chance if it's down, you have one ticket left and they're way up on you, which I think is nice.
Yeah, I think they might be tweaking the balance on a couple of things. Like I know a lot of people thought something like some of the D walkers were they can be a little much at times, but most of the time I feel like the matches I've been on have all been pretty close and competitive, and overall I've just greatly enjoyed my time with it so far.
Yeah, and I did finally beat the campaign recently, and even after that I felt myself, since I'm playing on the PC, I do not have the online stuff yet. I still feel myself going back, excuse me, completing some of the side ops that I hadn't, trying to get higher ranks on the missions that I'd done, continuing to expand my base and try and find better soldiers. So it's a game, even though I've completed it, I'm still finding reasons and desire to go back and continue playing. And besides that, played a little Jackbox recently with some friends. Very excited. The Jackbox Party Pack 2 is out, which means more frickin' fibbage, which is just...
The game's alright.
Anybody who...
That game's alright.
Yeah, if you have a I think it's Xbox and PS4. And PC as well. But if you ever have friends who are over, and they may not necessarily, they don't have to be part of games, but if you like game shows and trivia games, everybody has a smartphone. That's the best part about it, is you can get 8 people plus in a room together, put this on your TV, everybody pulls out their smartphone, and they can all play the game, which is just... It's just a blast. It's a really easy, fun way to just get a bunch of people together playing some games and having a good laugh at some ridiculous.
Yeah, it's been. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I really liked about it. It's pretty approachable, because most people do have smartphones these days. So it's been really fun. I think they've done a lot of, some of the other games that were, at least in the first one, like Drawful, I think have also been really great to play. I am a big fan of the fact that you cannot erase any of the drawings you made. So you make a mistake and then it just compounds it, and then you have to work around your own mistake to somehow salvage the drawing. You're like, well, I hope someone gets this. It's great.
It's just a real
it's great.
analog. You can't erase. Mistakes are permanent, motherfucker.
Yeah, you better deal with it. That's right. Maybe you should just be better at drawing the first time.
Yes. So anything else you've been playing, Mike? I know for me it's really just been those 2 games. So anything else for you?
As far as new and exciting stuff that's worth talking about here, it's mostly just been Metal Gear Solid 5. Like I said, Mario Maker is still really good. I feel like I'm just on the tip of the iceberg. Some of those levels have been. I think people have done a lot of really kind of interesting things that I really didn't think about here, because the one thing I appreciate about it is I'm not really good at like games where you sit down create a games. For example, I mean, you can do so much in something like Gary's Mod, for example, but that always, I mean, you have so many tools. There's
Gary's Mod, the fucking world download simulator.
Yeah, it's just, you're like adding files, and it's been, I mean, it was, I would mess around with some stuff in there, but it never kind of, it's very approachable in how to create stuff in that. When I see something, I'm not like, I have absolutely no idea how they ever got that thing to work. I'm like, oh, I can make that. That's a really good idea. It's something that's, because generally, how a Mario level works. It's pretty simple, but it's just making that kind of limitation there has just really made it. It's just been really fun to, try stuff, make kind of crazy levels, make normal levels. It's just, great to have. I can have Lakitus throw chain chomps. I'm like, this is what I've always wanted. This 2015 is a great time to be alive here.
But it's what you've always
wanted.
wanted.
People have done some really cool things in there. Like I've seen like one-screen platforming puzzles. I mean, there's some of those autoplay. There are a lot of autoplay levels which are, it's interesting to see those. But you kind of see, once you see one, you've kind of seen a lot of those. But yeah, it's things I'm seeing are like levels that where people are telling like stories. It's all kinds of things I never even would have imagined that have. It's been really fun. That's a darn good video game, Josh.
It's been making me really consider getting a Wii. That's for damn sure. Well, I guess before we wrap this thing up, the last thing I think, what is your most anticipated, most excited game you are for? Let's say for the rest of the year. Is there something that's coming out in 2015 that you're really looking forward to? We all know what mine is. Fallout 4.
Yes.
Which I still haven't pre-ordered.
Get your harpoon gun. I see. That's the.
Stop it.
Oh boy. I mean, this is a whole debate for another time. But I mean, I've pre-ordered games for way stupider things, and you can pre-order and save $20. I just. Okay. I'm just saying I wouldn't judge you because I've pre-ordered games for way stupider things, Anyways,
Yes, you have.
I think the two big things I'm probably looking forward to for the rest of the year, they have announced an expansion to Bloodborne, which is a game I'm a big fan of the Dark Souls games, and I really enjoyed Bloodborne earlier this year. I thought that was a great game. And the expansions that they released for Dark Souls 1 and 2, I thought were both excellent expansions. I mean, they added a lot to the lore. The bosses were really cool. The environments were some of the best that they even made for any of those games. So I'm really excited to see what kind of things get added to that. Because one kind of critique of Bloodborne was that there wasn't so much variety in terms of builds and gameplay. So adding a couple things here and there, I think would add a lot of. I would bring a lot of life to that, even though I thought there was a lot of detail there. But I'm really excited to see the more of that game and what other kinds of crazy things and visuals and environments. Because the environments in that game, I loved it. It was it was a really cool experience. So I'm really excited to get into more of that. Let's see, another big one. Curious to check out they just actually announced it, the Overwatch beta, that new shooter from Blizzard. I'm just curious to see, what's going on there. It just seems kind of interesting, and I know it's not coming out this year, but I'm curious to just get a chance to play it this year and see, because it looked pretty interesting.
But they did say that the beta would be coming out potentially the end of October, so you may not have to wait long to get your hands on it and see what it's about.
Well, we might have to report back with details. What about you, Josh? What are you looking forward to?
I don't know if you've heard about this game. It's called Fallout 4. Comes out in November.
That is coming up fast.
I'm moderately excited. And by moderately excited, I mean pretty fucking excited. But,
Yeah, I think I am also curious to see, what's going on. I think just from a couple of the trailers and things, one thing I didn't like. I mean, I guess I know it's part of the actual, aesthetic of it. It just felt the colors felt very samey. But even just looking at Fallout 4, it seemed much more like there's just like visually, I think it's just a better looking game in terms of like the fidelity of the graphics themselves, but also in terms of just like the design. There's more color, like the design is, I think, a little more engaging and interesting. So I'm curious to see.
And I tell you what, as somebody who is a very big hater of trailers and marketing kind of stuff like that, I'm so very excited that honestly they announced everything at E3 and there really hasn't been that much talk about it. They've been releasing a few videos, kind of like 30s educational videos about the different
traits,
special stats. And honestly, just that alone is like.
Yeah, I think they've done a lot of
marketing.
I think all the promotional stuff for that's been really cool, like kind of keeping it in universe, which is really interesting, but also kind of keeping it pretty surface level. I compared that. I saw that Fallout video, the Fallout videos, and I'm like, oh, cool, okay, that's a pretty cool way to introduce that game. And then I saw a trailer later for the new Assassin's Creed, and it's like, Karl Marx is in our video game. I'm like, oh boy, okay, all right.
So what you're telling me is you just told me everything that's in your game, and I don't need to buy it now, do I?
It's like, yes, the day of. This is what sold me on this game. The presence of Karl Marx in my video games. Finally! Why didn't someone? Probably got me put on a list somewhere, but
Hey, pseudo-intellectual neckbeards. He's just their fucking messiah, man. So hey, pander to your audience.
Carl. Yeah.
Yeah. This is Mike. He's going to be joining us for a while, hanging out, chatting about games.
Hope you didn't hate me.
I mean, I do.
Oh, hey now.
You're supposed to hate me.
Hey, come on
right?
now.
Got you. But yeah, so thank you for joining us, Mike, and thank you for filling in for Stan while he's away.
No problem.
If you like the ramblings, or even if you didn't, you should hit the subscribe button down here in the channel.
That sounds like
you can also find
that
us
sounds like a cool thing to do. You should probably do that.
right. We're getting closer to 100 subscribers. You could be the one. You could be the one. You can also follow us on Facebook. Just search in the search bar for Unscripted Gaming. We post a lot of our videos there. We also just put up recent posts. Sometimes if we're streaming, we'll put information about us streaming just games and whatnot there as well, and some news as it comes around. You can also follow us on Twitter at unscript_gaming. Give us a follow there. We're pretty active on the Twitters, tweeting out twats and stuff like that. But yeah, so follow us on our social.
Engage with our face tubes.
Click, 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 click.
Bingo. Engagement. Nailed it. Well done.
Yeah. I think that's all that's left to be said is thanks for listening. This was underscore. This was Unscripted Gaming. I'm Josh.
I'm Mike, and you can tell that Josh definitely did not script that, and I guess we'll be back around next time whenever that is. Peace.
Peace.